Welcome, angry faithful, to the Friday What the Hell, where we talk political news stuff on the internet, and we talk about it and we give out our opinion, which is not like everybody else's opinion. Most of
I'm
the
just
time.
curious. Can you hear the background yelling?
No. Anyways,
Okay.
so
My wife is screaming at the cat in the bathroom, telling him it wasn't nice what
don't
she
need to
did
hear
to the other one.
I don't need to hear it. I don't care. I don't care.
They might think, oh, it's cool. He's got cats. How cute.
No,
I should bring one in here.
No, nobody cares. Anyways,
how many of you people out there like cats? Let's see that in the comments.
Anyways,
none.
This week was prevalent about ibogaine. Ibogaine is a substance that does hallucinogenics, but it actually helps out with PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, TBIs, and it is a Schedule 1 substance for the United States due to its risk, cardiac arrhythmia, and death. The reason why that is if you are taking ibogaine, you have to ask. They ask you if you have any kind of heart problems, and if you do, you cannot take it. But we got some clear. Nope, those are wrong clips. Hold on, real quick. I forgot to put the clips up there. We got clips from last. We got clips from last Friday about all the stuff that Trump signed into. Okay, we'll just do it this way. This is him signing it.
Okay, it's my honor. And with that, President Trump signing historic legislation, an executive order that will open the pathway for a revolutionary psychedelic drug, ibogaine, to clear a pathway for possible FDA approval. And a room full, Rachel and Charlie, assembled of people.
And this is
to my left. Brian Hubbard and former Texas Governor Rick Perry came on my podcast. They told me how impactful this medicine is. And having that conversation with them, millions of people got a chance to hear their story, hear the stories of all the different people that have had life-changing experiences from it. And I want Brian to be able to speak about this.
Good. Brian, please.
Thank you, sir.
I heard that show. You have no trouble speaking. He's got no trouble speaking.
I want to assure you that my presence here is the most concrete affirmation that God has a wonderful sense of humor. Thank you. Thank you. Federal prohibition of psychedelic medicine in America is over. On the 250th year, on the 250th year of our nation's founding, everyone who has fought for this day through decades of monumental struggle, sacrifice, and suffering can now declare a seminal victory for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Rights we bear as images of our eternal Creator, whose essence is almighty, eternal, unconditional love for each and every one of us. This is the end of the beginning. We have moved mountains, yet there are mountains to move. Government systems which have relentlessly suppressed psychedelics are the same systems which will now manage their emergence. We dare not let our guard down for 1 second and be hair trigger ready to impose accountability for incompetence, obstruction, or failure. Credit belongs where credit is due. With this executive order, President Trump has delivered an epic victory for all humanity. I thank him for having the courage to make this happen, and my mission brother, Joe Rogan, for having the spine to make the ask. To our brothers and sisters in Gabon, you have our deepest gratitude for your stewardship of the sacred tree grown for the healing of nations. I will do my best to deliver the respect and honor you deserve for helping heal this nation. It is my joy to deliver these good tidings unto the meek, which will hopefully bind up the brokenhearted, proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to all who are bound. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you. Very much.
Now, Joe Rogan actually explains the whole reasoning and everything on this and all the benefits of it. We'll go ahead and show this too.
My demonic relationship with alcohol, it saved my life, and then it saved my wife. So every day is a blessing. It took about 3 years of, I did it 3 times. It's a different adventure every time. That's not fun.
So without it, you would have had problems.
I did it with, there was a Green Beret 28-year sergeant major that told me when we finished, make sure you tell Amber Capone, the CEO of Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions, that she saved my life because I was going to kill myself next week. This was my last chance. I had a 28-year veteran tell me that. Wow. This works.
Okay, good.
Mr. President,
Yes.
please ask Marcus to speak about his experience.
Thank you, Secretary. Yeah, Mr. President, what Robin Neal's talking about, my wife, Amber Capone, is the CEO of our charity Vets, Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions. We had prayed for this day to come 10 years ago when we started the charity. We've been sending veterans outside the country, Joe, that you've been talking about for years, several thousand now, and we said the mission will end once this day happens, so we believe this is a huge step in maybe that the mission goes away, and now we have affordable access right here in the U.S.
Why didn't they get it done?
We're getting it done, right? You're getting it done.
Yeah. Why yet other presidents looking at it? Why didn't they get it done?
I think we needed you.
I guess that's my job. I can answer that question, sir.
Go ahead.
There's a small group of us in the House that have been trying to move legislation since I showed up. Mr. Correa, Mr. Bergman, Mr. McCall, Mr. Crenshaw, every year have tried to move legislation. That side of the room is not going to like what I have to say about this. And every year it has all fallen short. Every year it has all fallen short. And it's because of the proverbial roadblocks that are always in the way.
Right, that's right.
Okay, fair assessment. But those members and myself were convicted never to give up, ever. And with this executive order, I'm going to maintain composure, Mr. President. With this executive order, you have broken down those barriers and allowed us, I have all the faith in the world that this will codify and remain forever. So thank you very much for taking care of your service members and your veterans and giving the members that have been working on this for so long a chance. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that. Wrong clip, but here's the actual Joe Rogan one.
I want to say that I'm here because of the man to my left. Brian Hubbard and former Texas Governor Rick Perry came on my podcast. They told me how impactful this medicine is. And having that conversation with them, millions of people got a chance to hear their story, hear the stories of all the different people that have had life-changing experiences from it. And I want Brian to be able to speak about this.
Good, Brian?
Oh, he already spoke and everything. But yeah, this was, man, I've been hearing about this for the longest time. And I've been trying to get my friends to do it that are veterans. And we have a place in Fort Worth. That's the closest one I can find in Fort Worth that you can do an ibogaine treatment. And it's all in-house. The ones that they go down to Mexico to go to actually get ibogaine, and a lot of people had to. They were going to different places. down in South America to get ibogaine treatments, and it literally is a doctor's office, and they have it all set up. Sometimes they have bad trips, but almost every one of them has said it's like it freed up my head. I'm not addicted to anything. It's anti-addiction to do it. If you're addicted to anything, it will help. I was listening to one a Green Beret that he couldn't walk, and he did this treatment, and because it rearranges stuff in your brain, it gave him the ability to walk again. I'm not saying it's like a super miracle drug, but everything that I've heard from other people that have done this treatment, it's from what they say, it's night and day. They didn't think it would help them. They were on the ropes. They were at death's door, ready to go into the next life. And then they did the treatment, and it helped them out. And I hope it does help a lot of people out. As of right now, it's just going to be a 1. So you have to go to a doctor, get the treatment through them. It's still in a legal battle for it. Also, if you do want to get treatment and everything, make sure you go through a doctor and don't do it willy-nilly. Go through a doctor, get it all set up and everything, and hopefully it helps you out. This is a good change in events. And all it was is it was against the law because they didn't want hippies, the war effort for Vietnam. Nixon did this. So, yeah. Hopefully it helps you everybody out. And please, if anything, go get treatment. Anyways, Bill, do you have anything on this one?
I don't have anything on that particular drug. I'm about to go on an experimental drug. Well, it's been out for a while, but it had to be purchased through a special program, and it actually completely reverses liver damage.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. There's a lot of stuff that's out there.
There's out there to keep it from getting worse.
Yeah.
This is one that actually stage 3 cirrhosis, which I have, should bring it back all the way to normal.
Nice. There's treatments out there right now to where I think type 2 diabetes is the worst one, right? Type 3.
Type 1, you have to do the shots. I have type 2.
Okay. Well, I
can do it with pills.
What's the worst of the worst?
I think there's just 1 and 2, and I don't know if there's levels, because it's always, well, do you have to have shots? How much and all that? But I don't have the have to have shots.
Okay. Well, there's treatments now that it's helping or getting rid of diabetes. Like if you just, like if you're an alcoholic and you start doing stem cell treatments, after 3 months, there's people out there that said they had diabetes and now they don't.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that one.
Oh, yeah.
Another one the doctor wants to put me on is for narcolepsy. For narcolepsy, I looked it up, and with our insurance, is going to be $70 a month. And then I looked at the regular price without insurance, $19,000 a month.
Interesting. Well, we already looked at that here. Let me bring that. Let me see if did I bring that up? No. I was looking at something else and I got sidetracked a little bit. Nope. I lost it. Let me. Nope. Oh, yeah, that's one thing. I might. Okay, I'll change out one thing. And put this. This is Nick Shirley is in the news again because of California. This is explaining the Nick Shirley Act. It's dubbed Nick Shirley Act. It has a long name for it, but here we go.
Stop Nick Shirley Act.
So you've heard a lot of people trying to call you a liar. Why don't we just read the bill? I think that's what everybody just needs to know. So this section of AB 2624, which we call the Stop Nick Shirley Act, it says a person, business, or association shall not publicly post or publicly display, disclose, or distribute on the internet or social media, the internet, the personal information or image of a designated immigration support service provider, employee, or volunteer if that individual or individual entity or organization authorized on the act of their behalf. And that's just some of the language.
What does that mean? Immigration support services provider.
You're exact. See, and that is where the devil is in the details. Designated immigration support services facility means a facility where immigration support services are provided, including but not limited to nonprofit organization offices, Department of Justice recognized entities, community legal clinics, law offices, accredited representative sites that provide immigration legal services, and healthcare facilities. They threw that into designated immigration support service facilities, healthcare facilities.
And healthcare is at the very bottom of this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where a lot of the fraud's taking place inside of Medi-Cal. For instance, the hospices, the daycares are with CalWorks, but they're with anything that have to do with immigrants. Essentially could not and is actually punishable.
You're 100% right. And that's where, again, the devil is in the details. Their definition of harassment is repeated, unreasonable, and unwelcome conduct. What is unwelcome conduct? Simply you asking questions today, can that be considered unwelcome? What do they mean by things that you could generally fear? So if they say the words, I was harassed by Nick Shirley, if you were out videotaping a hospice, you would fall under this because healthcare facilities is a designated immigration support service facility. That is part of the definition.
Okay. I looked into it. It actually bombed out, which is funny because basically I had like kind of reserved for it a little bit because I was like, well, I can understand if you're getting harassed by people. But again, that's still the First Amendment. If I go up to you and you're on the street and I ask you about, your job and everything, you don't have to tell me. I'm like, oh, okay. If I do this, it's like, oh, okay. No big deal. I'll get the next person. And if that next person wants to talk about it, that next person can talk about it. But as soon as you say, oh, he was harassing me. And if he shows a video, it's like, no, this is what I was doing. I asked him. He said, no, I have video evidence of it. Boom. Guess what? It should just, because Texas has the same thing. But it's more or less for like spam callers, and it has to be like a corporation actually doing it. What are your thoughts, Bill?
Hello.
Bill, can you hear me?
Oh, on the
Nick Shirley Act?
Nick Shirley Act. Californians are scum.
Well, figure you had something a little bit more, but okay. Talking about this is another and I wish it was, they could show, because there's Republicans out there that are all that. Tony Gonzalez is a piece of shit. And I can't wait till he's out of Congress and he gets his full, because He's probably going to get divorced. He's already getting sued by the the husband of the woman that inflamed herself. So there's a lot. But anyways, here's a funny story that I saw, and I called it on the notes, and it says Democrats kicked out of the Democratic Party, which now I understand fully what it actually is the reason why they're kicking those people out is because they're Democrats, but they're for America. They're not democratic socialists. That's the thing. Because I can get along with a person that's fully Democrat, but I can't get along with a democratic socialist because they're crazy.
Money. Why is that? I don't know. Have you been offered any corporate PAC money to reject?
I have not a significant amount, but
how does that work though? Do they come to you and they're like, we represent a PAC and we want to spend money on you, or do they write a check?
They'll say, we'll throw you a fundraiser. And so what happens is you say, you know, I'm thinking about running for office. Maybe you tweet about it, right? First consultants come to me. They say, okay, you're young, you're charismatic. You're going to be able to raise a lot of money. We're going to take 15% of what you raise, put it in a bank account. You'll get that after the election.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, that's how the control first begins. I was thinking about running for Congress. Then we ran a poll because why does no one challenge this guy, Mark Warner? He said he was going to run for 2 terms. Now he's running for 4. He's 71. He really hasn't done anything. All his donors are corporations, the banking class, former bosses. So I run against him. But then I realized no one runs against this guy because it's by design. So they try to take you out. And the Democratic Party has so many ways of doing this, whether it's signature fraud, petition fraud, which makes me wonder where all these votes come from.
Well, let's talk about your story, because you're a Democrat, but they kicked you out.
Yes.
Why?
They kicked me out. One, I disagreed with gerrymandering. And so Senator Louise Lucas, the head of the Virginia State Senate, came out against me with that.
Wow.
And then I was instructed by someone within the party to hire a certain guy to help get signatures, because you need 10,000 signatures to get on the ballot, right?
Yeah.
Well, the party is the one that vets the signatures. So I start looking through these signatures. I see my own name on there.
Whoa.
What? Yeah. So I develop an AI to do some handwriting analysis, send it to forensics guy. Majority of these are forged. It turns out petition signature getting fraud is a very common thing. It's cottage industry.
Yeah.
So they'll get the first like 2-3 signatures on a page. Then it's called tabling. The group will then.
So yeah, Bill, what do you think about that?
About gerrymandering?
Jesus, the whole thing, Bill. It's not funny anymore, Bill.
I've been following Virginia in that.
Yeah,
closer.
I actually wanted to get into you on that one because they redid the Virginia voting things like we did ours, voting districts.
Yeah. Do you know what the question was? How they asked that? Proposed constitutional amendment question. Should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adapt new congressional districts to restore fairness in the upcoming elections, while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 census?
Well, it's even worse than that. They signed I don't know if it's actually legal or not, but they signed a thing a week back, and I forgot about it and mentioned about you. But they signed something a week back about Virginia. Once whoever wins the popular vote gets the Virginia vote, the electoral college votes.
Yeah, I don't know how all that's going to go. The Supreme Court a while back said, "Oh, we don't want to get into redistricting." So what the hell's the Virginia thing going to do? And is it going to do it before the election? If they don't want to get into it now, is it the circuit court in Virginia?
It would
already shot it down.
Yeah, the circuit court already shut it down.
But it's going to keep going. They're going to take it to higher courts.
Yeah, it'll probably go to the U.S. Supreme Court. But no, this whole started because Texas had a redistrict. And the reason why, and every one of them They don't tell you the fact of the reason why we had to redistrict. Because we were ordered to by the Supreme Court to redistrict because our stuff was one-sided on one area. And so when they redistrict to the way that the Supreme Court wanted and said it, yeah, this is the legal way you could redistrict. And this is the U.S. Supreme Court. So yeah, that was the whole reason why we redistrict. And we got the redistricting through census, and it came up in the Republican side's favor. But after we redistrict, everybody was upset with the redistrict because the Democrats were like, "Oh no!" Well, it's more or less like I've been watching F1 racing stuff. How one side gets upset because the other side's winning and they're have a faster vehicle, and it's the same thing with. I don't know why we have to have a competition with the lives of the American people, but that's what it's come to right now. Okay, and it irks me. It irks me to the point that I just want to like grab some of these people, and both Republican and Democrats.
Well, yeah, and they say we started it. No, look at Illinois.
Yeah,
Illinois is fucking insane, and pretty much the entire Northeast.
Yeah, and it's not here's this side or that side. It's constantly they're constantly trying to redistrict. Every state is. There's a couple of them that don't really do it all too much. I mean, you really don't really have to worry about Alaska to redistrict because there's not that many people there. But
what is DeSantis? I saw a note toward DeSantis that he is going to work on something.
I saw that too, and it's something to do with I think Virginia. There we go. Let me pick up the newest news because there was this video, and
you know what, David?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if anyone has heard a word that I've said for the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Bill, if I hear you, it goes through the thing.
Remember what we discussed about the setting where we hear each other, but it doesn't go out?
Bill, yours goes out. I'll listen to the whole episode.
Okay. I mean, at the very moment for the last 5-10 minutes.
Yes. I'll let you know if I don't hear anything. Man, let me see if I can bring this on X. Because there was a new thing that happened. It just happened like today. And it was to talk about he was saying something about, to the fact of, yeah, come try to do that whole Democratic stuff in Florida. We welcome it. I'll show you around. You can even try. I'll do my best to be a good host, but I guarantee you, once you start talking that crazy about gun control and everything like that, they'll kick you out. That was old news. But other than that, Bill, what else do we have here? No. Oh, yes.
Southern Poverty Law?
Yes, the Southern Poverty Law indictment and prepare for legal fights. The criminal indictment of the Southern Poverty Law Center this week was met with much outrage, but little surprise from the civil rights leaders who have for more than a year, prepared for heightened legal scrutiny from the Trump administration and how to mount a coordinated response. In the rounds of calls immediately following the incident, advocates discussed how to support SPLC, an Alabama-based civil rights group funded in 1971 that it has tracked white supremacy groups. I couldn't believe that when I read it, because I know this group. They supported BLM. They supported a lot of other groups, and has been outspoken on voting rights, immigration, and policy. Organizations on one call agreed that winning in a court of public opinion would be crucial as a judicial process begun, leading to dozens of public statements of support and planning rallies. And these rallies was actually Charlottesville, and it was actually they were flying around the rebel flag, neo-Nazi stuff. The whole Charlottesville. We heard about it in
the Fine People hoax.
Yeah, it was
completely out of context.
Oh yeah, it was all a sham.
Okay, I have the official announcement if you'd like.
Go ahead, Bill.
Here today is to announce what the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups. I just want to say that again. They used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremist groups. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center, on top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud. This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred. This is an important case brought by President Trump's administration. We're thankful to the president for his leadership and funding of not just the FBI and DOJ, but his commitment to go out there and wipe out fraud and conspiracy and waste and abuse wherever it occurs, including the Southern Poverty Law Center. Even though this money was made to appear to be coming from legitimate people and legitimate entities, we at the FBI, with our great partners at the Department of Justice and in the state of Alabama, were able to comb through a decade worth of material, a scheme that took a decade to build, so that we were able to follow the money, because money never lies, and they got caught. As the Attorney General said, these charges are varying. They are widespread and wide-ranging, and this investigation is very much ongoing. Today, we're here to announce the charges of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and this investigation and the individuals who are responsible will be brought to justice. Thank you, General.
Yeah. So from what I understand, like most of the other stuff that's been happening with a lot of the like the Maduro stuff, that was happening for years and years and years, even through the Biden administration. So basically, what I'm understanding is they started it during their administration, and then I guess it was probably after Charlottesville, because that was 2017. And after they kept on, FBI kept on investigating and kept on investigating that moment. Bill, don't show that. This is the reason why I didn't show the ones that I had. But yeah, because of the hate flags and everything, I don't want to get us flagged for hate stuff because people.
Well, how can we talk about liberals?
I've already talked about this on X, and I'm not going to talk about it again.
What? Flagging for hate?
No, a song I found.
Oh, Elon posted something.
Okay,
and he reposted. Let's see his timeline. He said Southern Poverty Law Center is a crime syndicate.
Matches.
And let me see. Hold on. And in October 3rd, he said incitements to violence. He just posted a little time, some previous things he had said. It was October 3rd that he said incitement to violence by evil propagandist organizations like Southern Poverty Law Center is unacceptable. This is getting innocent people killed. October 2nd, he had posted the Southern Poverty Law Center as an evil organization that spreads hate propaganda relentlessly. It needs to be shut down. So he's pointing out that, yeah, he's been talking about that for a long time.
Totally understand about that. But it's ridiculous. And they're supposed to actually be a help for people that are in poverty, I guess, and the outstricken. But they just wanted to pander the lives of America. You were close. You were close. I can't hear you.
For a while, you were hearing me, but I don't think they were.
No, they were, Bill. What it is, Bill, is as soon as it goes through and I hear it, it goes through the internet and everything, it's already set up to where it goes through.
Okay.
So as long as I hear you, everybody can hear you. And there's some people out there that are wishing that wasn't a thing. But last and not least, data center movement. And the reason why we say the data center movement is because Bill's apparently going to be an activist to try to get the anti-data centers to stop.
A little preface to that is a lot of people like I don't think my wife are getting really defeatist about the elections.
What do you mean?
And well, like the drug thing that he just signed, a lot of that, I told her back earlier this year, that stuff is going to go into effect, some of it in June. So in June, it's going to hit the public as they actually make some purchases and go, hey, wait a minute, I'm saving a shit ton. He takes care of this conflict in a few weeks, and the price of a barrel of gas of oil is going to plunge. So you start getting the price of gas down, and then that happens. I think we've got a chance at the midterms, except the anti-data center movement.
Is it really that bad?
Yes.
And the only reason why I'm asking this is I already know why it's bad because I get messages throughout the day now, and it's not like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Check this out." No,
Like a novel.
it is novels of stuff that you have found. And I told you I would listen to it.
Okay. Well, I put together a timeline. I'll mention after the timeline some of the things that are going on, but I have a complete timeline of how it began. Ready? Liberal activist forced the installation of expensive wind and solar. Texas became #1 in wind energy. Wind requires special infrastructure due to its quick changes in output. It's expensive, blame greedy, big energy, and Abbott. That's what they did. The only way to reach net zero is battery storage. Texas and California right now flip back and forth between #1 and #2 in battery storage. And a lot of people don't know this. Texas actually has so much wind energy capacity, and we don't have the infrastructure to carry it, that we actually have to throttle it back at times. And basically, we waste energy. So we have to expand the infrastructure. Now, the anti-data center movement is big corporations, big or evil are evil. In 2020 and 2021, Microsoft and Google, and I've been following this for a long time, they made a water positive by 2030 pledge that they will actually feed more water back into the system to the people than they use.
I still wonder how they do that.
Well, there's a lot of ways they do it. We won't get into that. That's a really detailed list, but they affirmed that in 2024. Now, Facebook, Meta, was already trying to make sustainable power a priority. And do you remember a fight in Henrietta in 2015 over wind?
Yeah.
It was wind power. They're going to put a big wind farm around Henrietta. Now, part of the fight that I saw was Shepherd Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Shepherd Air Force Base actually came out and said, if you would build that wind farm, we might have to move Egypt, because one of the primary things about this area is if there's clouds, they can still do flight training. They do low-level flying. Wind towers scatter radar, so they wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's not in my backyard thing, but do you know what that wind farm was supposed to do?
I don't know.
It's for Facebook. Facebook was going to power one of its data centers in Fort Worth. They want it to be sustainable. So all this evil data center, they've been working on it. The technology just has to catch up. But that wind farm in Henrietta was for a Fort Worth data center.
And big government crushed them.
No, little government. I watched a lot of the meetings from Henrietta people and from Shepherd. So little grassroots quashed it. But in 2023, the big data center rush began. And in 2023, organized efforts, this is when they started, began to grow to stop them. And it was little small scale movements. Do you remember in October of 2023 what we voted on? No. Proposition 7. It created the Texas Energy Fund to support gas power. So there we were switching over to gas power. And the fact that Texas voted for it, the liberals started saying, vote out Abbott because he's a big oil shill. They wanted our tax dollars to still go into wind and solar.
It was all because of they were freaking out with they were trying to do something because of the snowpocalypse, because 2022 was when the snowpocalypse happened.
Yeah, and I fully know that. I had just been diagnosed with the virus, and I was stuck in the house for 3 days with zero power. Now, Candy, a block around the corner, she had rolling blackouts because she's on the same circuit as the firehouse. So she had rolling blackouts. We had continuous blackout, 0 power, 41 degrees in the house.
Yeah, and that was the whole reason why they did that act for the gas, and everybody was like, "Oh, Abbott's and blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, you idiot! It's because of the freaking we had what 2 or 3 natural gas electric places, energy places, and they couldn't get it up fast enough."
Well, there was a perfect storm. Some of the natural gas plants they had taken down for maintenance. Parts of them were taken down for maintenance.
Yeah.
Parts of them, the valves froze.
Yeah.
And then also the wind power.
Yeah.
I look on the ERCOT app every once in a while, little power junkie. Or is that a power trip that I keep up with it?
Sure, Bill. Whatever. Keep on going for the rest of this stuff and making stupid jokes.
Okay. Well, in 2025, Trump shuts down funding for big energy. We were paying for it.
Yeah.
But of course, liberals have sued for that and got a lot of that funding restored. Part of it was this week. We'll go on and get to that. Well, one of the big things in Texas to make use of the wind energy that I said was wasted are these huge 765 kilovolt lines, massive towers.
Yeah.
Have you seen pictures of those towers? I wish I had one to go up, but there was, that's what's needed. But there was a real grassroots effort, real local people in the hill country saying, we don't want that to go through our property. So that's real. So, in that 2025, as they were suing to get the wind projects restored, people don't know this because there was missing persons going on, but the budget bill that Trump signed in February 3rd, it restored a lot of that and required funding to go back to it. Now, on keeping up with the timeline, follow this. On September 17th, the anti-data center activists created a training toolkit called The People Say No, Resisting Data Centers. And it was published by Media Justice. Media Justice received some funding from Hans-Georg, however it's pronounced, Weiss. He's a Swiss billionaire, and it was through money that he sends through Arbella Advisors. On November 25th, I've mentioned this before, I was watching a speech by Macron. I was watching a speech by Macron at Adopt AI in Paris, and he said, we must beat China and the US in AI.
Okay.
Now on this.
Your camera went off. Bill, keep on going. It doesn't matter with the camera. Bill, stay focused. Go.
Oh, wow. That's bad.
Just keep on going, Bill.
On December 8th, 2025, so this was shortly after Macron did his thing, 230 organizations wrote a letter to Congress demanding a national moratorium on the construction of data centers. The organizations were funded in part by that Swiss billionaire, Weiss, and indirectly by Neville Singham, the American billionaire living in China. He also funds some of the 230 groups. And to tell you one of the goals of Weiss, in a biography written by his sister, she said his goal is to reinterpret the American Constitution in the light of progressive politics. Now, after that December 8th meeting, massive organized groups pivoted to stop the data centers. Why? Well, foreign billionaires want America to lose the AI race. And here's the big one. It peels away Republican voters from the No King, Stop ICE, pro-Ayatollah riots to that the liberal base was getting excited about, but it wasn't getting Republican votes. And for the good of the people, no, it had nothing to do with the good of the people. But now liberals in their anti-data center propaganda campaign, get this for irony, they must now show that they hate wind, solar, battery storage, and the transmission lines that they require to use the wind energy. All of the components of net zero that they supported, now for this new movement, they have to hate it.
Really?
Gullible citizens, yeah. Yeah, think about that. They've supported all this stuff all this time, but now they have to go, well, now we got to show that we hate sustainable power because they're using sustainable power for the data centers. It's like the one in Wilbarger County. They've got a co-locate plan, and they're going to use, I think total is going to be 1 gigawatt of wind and solar farm to power the data center. So it isn't going to pull from the ERCOT grid. But what people need to think, citizens need to think, are how they're manipulated to hate data centers. And it's a manipulation by trained protesters who stoke them toward hate by misinformation spread in local groups. So you're logging in, you're watching the local groups, and people are going, "Oh, this thing," and you're going, "Oh yeah, they're right." That's activist. That's state and nationwide activist trying to get you to hate. They scare residents with that scary, NDAs. They're being hiding things, and then they force the message that citizens should have a vote on new businesses. And here's a question for the anti-data center people, the average people, not the trained activists. Ask yourself, when did I begin to hate data centers? The majority of the people, it's going to be sometime in December, January, when these activists were leading them to hate. When did I think about scary NDAs? NDAs are something that have always been used by every company for things such as protection from competition, theft, all the stories we've had over the last couple of years about China stealing our tech, protecting from sabotage, national security. And the third thing people need to ask is, when did I think citizens should vote on new businesses coming to town? And I looked that up. That's never happened. Cities don't have citizens vote. No. Well, very, very seldom do citizens vote on a new business coming to town.
I remember there was a new business that was in town, a couple of them that they had to vote in. You know what businesses those were? And I was surprised to see the other one just pop up. It was Christie's Toy Box and Babes, full nude last place. Those are the ones that had to go through like a process getting voted in.
Well, occasionally there are zoning issues.
It wasn't a zoning issue for Babes, I can tell you that right now, because it was out of Wichita County's jurisdiction. God, I can't freaking say words. But yeah. Oh, we both did that. I guess we'll close shop now, Bill. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm
having a hiccup. Are you having a hiccup?
No, my phone that I use as a camera is quite hot.
Well, we'll go ahead and close it out for today. You got your point across, and you're going to keep on making your point across throughout a couple of months until June. We'll make May.
No. I'm going to keep doing this probably to the election.
Yeah, probably. It's going to be a while. So we're going to keep you on the talking up the anti-data centers. But anyways, everybody, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Sorry for the
system malfunction.
There we go. But as always, thank you all for the comments. Thank you all for actually listening to us for a little bit throughout your time frame and checking us out. Love you guys. Thank you. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
Check us out on Wednesdays and Mondays for Nerd Sports, and on Wednesday on X only for the What the Hell, where we get into crazy stuff. Well, we talked about wrestling this week. So check us out, everybody, on those days. Love you guys. Goodbye.
Bye.